So Dave, would you like to kick us off and have us get started today? I am part of the SLA Maryland chapter, and we're sponsoring this webinar today. There was a very successful November event on leveraging data to lead, and there were people from multiple countries that had attended. We're extremely excited to be able to then push forward a series of webinars, with this first one being how federal agencies are leveraging Thomson Reuters data. Dave G. was kind enough to organize some speakers to hear from Thomson Reuters representatives on how the custom data or custom data sets are available, and then several speakers from Navy as well as National Institutes of Health. Thank you very much for joining us today. And Dave, if you would kick us off, I'd appreciate it.
Good morning, everybody. My name is David G., and I'm an account manager with Thomson Reuters supporting the U.S. Army, Navy, and various Department of Defense agencies. I just would like to thank everybody for joining us on the call today and send a special thanks to Nancy and the SLA Maryland chapter for coordinating this information sharing event. Also, I'd like to thank all of the presenters on the call who are taking the time to discuss custom data sets and how they use and leverage custom data and custom services from Thomson Reuters. The Thomson Reuters Research Data and Services team provides high-quality data, customized metrics and analytics, as well as analysis and reporting prepared by leading subject matter experts to help you bring together multiple indicators of research performance that enable organizations like yours to rapidly make sense of and interpret a wide range of data points to facilitate strategy and decision making. Thomson Reuters custom data and services can help you answer questions such as, how can we demonstrate and quantify the impact of our funding in a specific area of research? How can we identify global experts or rising stars? How can we link our funding to outcomes and impact? And where are the lesser-known global hotbeds for a particular technology of interest in a region, country, or institution? I introduce Stephen Mobley, who will provide an overview of our custom data solutions and how data is delivered. I wanted to let everybody know that Thomson Reuters is very open to providing options to acquire custom services and custom data solutions that offer maximum value to your organizations. So for those of you who may have specific questions related to acquiring custom data sets or custom services, you can feel free to contact me, and I'll be happy to answer your questions and provide additional details. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Stephen Mobley, who is our Custom Data Operations Manager, and Stephen will be providing details on our custom data solutions and offerings.
My name is Stephen Mobley. I'm from Thomson Reuters Scientific and Scholarly Research. I'm the Operations Manager of SSR Custom Data. It's a small engineering team. It's me and a number of young engineers and a team to deliver raw data that is solely focused on delivering data out of large Thomson Reuters SSR products, whether it's WASP, whether it's JCR, whether it's Insights or ESI. We're the point of contact for delivering raw data and customized data for customer needs. So a little bit of background. We have a lot of expertise to answer many different research data questions, especially as related to WASP data and citations, bibliometrics. That is solely what we're focused on. Now you have WASP, you have JCR, you have ESI, Insights that are standalone products that give that have certain properties and answer certain questions for you. But the majority of the work that our team does is ad hoc work, either delivering slices of data out of the Web of Science and other products, or helping people based on their own requirements to answer questions that they have. So, and our big plus is that we provide a lot of evidence of impact and innovation to our customers. So a few of these bullet points, we believe that we have the largest and most complete data source of research information through WASP. We have unmatched multidisciplinary info on global discovery and innovation. We have a crack team of analytical engineers that have been trained over time in quantitative and qualitative methodologies. We have a lot of project management and engagement support, to support any type of client, whether it's large or small, at pretty much any price point. Now, we sell data for $1,500, and then we sell larger sets of data for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So almost there isn't a price point out there where we're going to say we can't take it or we can't do it. So we get individuals who come and ask us for data, and we get large consortiums, as you all know, coming and asking us for projects and data. We have a real deep understanding of what customers need, and we understand the measures that they are looking for, what they're trying to achieve. Over the last few years, we've had probably 1,500 projects, all different sorts that really cover the gamut of custom and analytic needs. There really isn't a project out there now or an idea out there now that we haven't touched in one way or another. So most likely, I'm guessing a 98% chance that if you bring us a new project idea, we've likely touched on it or done something very similar to it in the past. We also have the ability to link our content to outside content, whether it's repository content that a customer already has, or open source content. WAS data, Insights data is that good. We have experience conducting real rigorous data-driven analyses to inform decision-making for our customers. And we have experience to understand where people need to put their money and where they need to focus and put their support. So SSR custom data, we do provide support for critical decision-making, whether it's in academia, whether it's in the publisher segment, whether it's in nonprofits, whether it's in the government or in the corporate world. A lot of questions that we get, a lot of needs that we get from customers are listed here, and I'll just hit on a lot of the main ones. A lot of benchmarking, comparing performance of a specific organization to their peers. We get a lot of comparisons of institutions that want a citation report to see how well they're doing versus other institutions, whether it's a government agency or whether it's a hospital or whether it's a department within a university. We get a lot of requests asking to see how someone is doing with regard to publishing versus their peers. We help a lot of organizations identify experts inside and outside their organization, whether it's someone in their department, as mentioned, someone in the state, or someone internationally. We help people all the time figure out who really are the core new emerging experts in a specific field. We help people promote internal and external partnerships based on publishing or collaboration. We identify and promote areas of strength to specialization tied to publication impact. We provide a lot of decision support for policy making and program development, especially in the government, in the U.S. government, and to a certain extent internationally in Europe and in Asia. We help people comprehend what's going on, in research nowadays. We help people figure out, for example, what's exactly happening in xenotransplantation in Europe. That's what we get questions like that a lot in the U.S. Many people ask us what's going on with applied physics across, a large swath of organizations. Another big thing that we do, and this is probably the majority of our business, is filling and updating internal repositories and databases. So lots of customers have databases of their own publication, but maybe they don't have enough, or maybe they want to buy a larger grouping of data to fill their repositories to be able to do internal assessments, and that's what we provide raw data for. We also, as mentioned above, we help people demonstrate results within their own organization and impact of research activities. And we also help people identify new trends and key indicators to enable policy development. So extensive IP and science data coverage. This is the data that we have access to. So I'm assuming that the majority of the people on the call are familiar with the Web of Science. We provide Web of Science Core, Social Science Citation Index, the Science Citation Index, arts and humanities. We provide books and conferences and other associated collections available for raw data purchase, whether it's biosis or whether it's current content. And there's another slide down in the deck that we can take a look at after this, and I can summarize those items that are easily available for purchase. We sell insights, underlying metric data. We also sell customized versions of journal citation reports. We get a lot of requests for that. We sell data related to ESI, essential science indicators. We have a lot of customers in Asia who have a real laser focus on ESI, so we do a lot of work there. We also sell Derwent and related patent data. We have the ability to link publications, WAS IDs to Derwent patent data. There's a lot of demand for that. We also have a couple of legacy products that we have revived, which is the National Science Indicators and Journal Performance Indicators. And we also have data that basically goes back to starting at 1884 and forward. Okay, so we have lots of data. We have lots of metrics that we can provide to our customers. For those of you who are, again, familiar with the Web of Science, we can, the metadata on the side should be familiar to you. You know, we can provide IDs, title, abstracts. By the way, we don't provide, at this point, full text data, but we do provide title and abstract. We provide authors and addresses, affiliation, journal information, categories, keywords, and document types, all the citation data that Web of Science is known for, whether it's time cited, cited refs, citing refs, with and without self-cites. There are lots of different ways that we slice and dice that. And there are many additional data points that are contained within the Web of Science that our team can get access to for you. Indicator-wise, you know, we can provide all the usual things: the citation impact, normalized citation impact, impact relative to world, H-index, percentiles, collaborations, hot papers, highly cited papers, ESI most cited, and we get a lot of requests for new and unique indicator calculations. We get customers all the time coming to us saying, hey, we have our own way of calculating our data. We'd like to purchase publications and a group of publications and calculate it a certain way, and we have the ability to do that. So we have multiple formats and technology to deliver this data. The primary way that we deliver large sets of data is via our XML data. We have a team that is specifically devoted to sending out large chunks of the Web of Science, whether it's defined by year or by edition or both. We also have Derwent data via another team. It's also available in XML, and this is a pretty standard format, I think. It's gotten to the point now where most customers have the ability to ingest text and XML without much difficulty, and we have all the supporting documentation for that. Other products that we offer pretty often, and we do get a lot of purchases of these, are citation reports, which is effectively an evaluation of how a nation, an institution, or an individual or a department is doing with regard to you know, the publications and citing. We sell quite a few institutional citation reports to departments and to higher ed, to small colleges and universities who just want to see how they're doing versus their peers. We also have a local journal utilization report that helps librarians figure out exactly what journals to buy, where to put their money with regard to where all their publishing is occurring. We also have, as I mentioned before, we have yearly offerings such as Journal Performance Index and National Science Indicators, and we also offer direct API access into the Web of Science under the form of a Web Services Premium, and this is for those individuals who just who don't need the data sent to them. They just want to be able to go in and make queries to the data and pull out specific subsets or indicator information whenever they feel the need for it. And then also ad hoc needs, customer journal requirements. They don't have to adhere to anything necessarily up that is shown here. I would say about 40% of our projects that we have right now are just new customer requirements. Come in and say, I have a unique need for data, and here's my set of requirements. Can you do it? And I would say the majority of the time, probably upper 90%, we're able to fill most, if not all, of the requirements coming from a customer. And we also deliver in many formats. We deliver in XML, as mentioned, in databases, MS Access databases. We can do other formats of databases, upon request. And I'd say also about 30 or 40% of our data is delivered in Excel text or in some custom text format. So we do a lot of partnering with government agencies, with universities in higher ed, with publishers, with societies, nonprofits. If you can name a large organization out there involved in research assessment in one way or another, most likely we have sold custom data to them. We also sell data for rankings. That's mentioned here. Two examples are CWTS, the Leiden ranking, and also U.S. News and World Report. And again, we sell to everyone at this point. Government agencies, again, across the globe are big customers, but also universities who buy raw data, especially for their repositories, and also want to do peer assessment. We've been selling a lot more to corporations in recent years, and they want to see how their own research and their collaborations are going. And we sell quite a bit of data to publishers, societies, and nonprofits. And our typical users, what I found is that you get librarians, you get researchers, and you get VP, administrator, provosts, deans, and information specialists. And what we're seeing now is that a lot of administrators and presidents and trustees really want to get into publication data for their specific organization in order to see how well people are doing. We also see a lot of departments buying data to do pre- and post-tenure review. The Web of Science, this is just a quick summary here. We sell raw data for Web of Science core collection. Everything here we sell in its Chemicus and chemical reactions. We sell Biosis, Derwent, current contents, zoological record, and a number of other citation databases in raw data format. We don't sell everything in the core collection, but we sell I think the majority of it at this point. And as you can see, the Web of Science, we believe that is fully comprehensive. The coverage from the 1800s and cited references from 1900 with almost 19,000 journals and quite a few records. And this is just a summary of the journal citation reports. The heart of research where customers, especially large organizations and publishers, want to see how well their journals are doing versus other journals, or what the journal landscape looks like with regard to impact. And next page, I have just a quick summary of insights. My guess is that the majority of the people on the phone have heard some kind of background about our core products. But again, all three of these, we have direct access into the data. So if you have a need for data inside any of these products, something that we can easily provide. So I apologize. It looks like I've taken up a lot of time, and I've taken up a lot of Duane's time. But I think I'm finished here, and I'm happy to take any questions that anyone may have.
So, Stephen, we're going to hold questions, and we do have those questions.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you all for joining as well. My name is Duane Williams. I'm a senior scientific analyst and a project manager in the government and academic section of Thomson Reuters. I am aware that we started a bit late and we're a little bit short on time, so I'll try to go through my part fairly quickly. To begin, I think Stephen has done a great job of exposing you to the fact that we do offer custom data solutions, but I do want to drive home the point that we have a range of different kinds of solutions that we offer within the IP and Science Business Unit, ranging from off-the-shelf applications like Web of Science or Insights, custom software development. We do that as well. We integrate into those software systems or into your software systems our custom data, And the team that I'm a part of, which is the custom analytics department, we of course do commissioned reports and fully custom solutions, collaborative evaluations of your research programs, and other kinds of research support services. And within our team, we actually build upon these core dimensions. First is, of course, the trusted information that Thomson Reuters is well known for, a variety of different kinds of information. Stephen discussed the Web of Science and really the publication data. He touched on a bit the Duane data, which is our patent data, which is the most comprehensive set of data available. In fact, the USPTO purchases information from our patent data. We also have intuitive technologies. That is a core part of what we offer, not just in terms of our off-the-shelf solutions, but in terms of our custom solutions. And then our team really builds on those two real pillars with our experts. Highly qualified teams with advanced degrees, PhDs and masters in a variety of the different scientific disciplines as well as engineering. We have a global team which helps us to have a better perspective. We regularly are on calls with our colleagues internationally and with clients internationally. And our projects run smoothly, on time and on budget, due in large part to our PMP certified project management group. The end result of all of that is our ability to support strategic decision making. And a few of our trusted clients are listed below. In particular, the National Institutes of Health is where we do quite a bit of our custom analytics work. To just drive home the point a little bit more about the kinds of different solutions we can offer, but I did want to talk about our three teams, our intellectual property and science, our intellectual property solutions team, which covers our patent data, covering different dimensions from research and innovation, application and prosecution. These are actual patent experts with a long range of history in the patent space, and ranging from research and innovation, application and prosecution, maintenance and monitoring, licensing and commercialization, and protection of assets. Another team that hasn't historically done quite as much work in this area is our life sciences team, which is more focused on the drug discovery process. I think there's actually a lot of potential here for life sciences as we now face new threats of biological and chemical warfare. There's quite a bit of data. Stephen has spoken about our publication data. I spoke briefly about our patent data, but that just scratches the surface with respect to the kinds of data that we collect. And I think it should be noted that our philosophy in this data collection process remains the same. It's always high quality, it's always manually curated, and it's always consistent. And it's really the foundation upon which we build our services and all other solutions. But as I said, I'm in the government and academic segments of Thomson Reuters, and here we focus really on the research funding life cycle, from policy and planning. Stephen mentioned and David mentioned a few of the kinds of questions that we answer, from where the gaps in the portfolio, are those being filled by other funders, how can they identify experts and rising stars, how can I quickly identify global emerging trends. We also help with program management and program monitoring, as well as program evaluation. Again, we do quite a bit of work. There's a lot that's publicly available and a lot that's not publicly available, but we can share sample reports and so on that really aim at answering this full range of questions. In the interest of time, I won't read through all of the questions, but I believe the slides will be available. Now I'll just go into a few of the examples of how we support the research infrastructure. So starting at the top of that circle, looking at understanding the research landscape. These are just some examples from a report we did 3 years ago for the National Institutes of Mental Health, looking at the research landscape for autism research over the past 30 years. And some of in the upper right-hand corner, you can see that we were looking at the global trends. And here you can note that the relative market share of the U.S. contribution to autism research has begun to decline in the past years, due in large part to a growth by all other countries, which is led by the BRIC nations. It should be noted that this does not indicate that the U.S. research in itself, the U.S. is producing less research. It just means that the market share is changing as the research landscape becomes much more global. In the lower left-hand corner, we are looking at the collaborations and the volume of research and volume of research collaborations that are international over time. And I think an important point here is that this is underpinned by our Web of Science data, where we have sufficient metadata to carry out these kinds of analyses. We have authors' research addresses that enables us to, and we have all of the authors that are listed on the article, which is unique to our data set, and it enables us to get a comprehensive view of the collaboration network. Understanding the publication landscape is critical, but I do want to underscore that what we offer is a combination of different kinds of things. So we have the publication landscape, and here we're looking at the patent landscape for a specific topic in basic research. So you can see where there are clusters of a high volume of research, and if you trace it by company or corporation, you can tell when specific companies are focused in a given area of research. So on the topographical map here, as you get closer to the whites, it's really getting to this nucleus of different topical areas, and this is actually the image is generated by one of our tools called Themescape. So we put the patents in there, and it tells you the topics that are being covered within those patents, and we can do the same for publications. And you can also see how closely related they are, how dispersed the full landscape is. Another important dimension of knowing the research landscape is really knowing where you fit, so getting a sense of your own research footprint. And we did this quick study earlier just looking at the different branches of the armed forces and the degree to which they focus on different areas within additive manufacturing. This is a small snapshot, and it exhibits a few different things. The first is the topic modeling, trying to understand not just counts of publications, but what's really being studied within those topics. And then understanding your footprint, so that for the Navy, for example, they may be more focused on one area than another, but it may be okay if other branches of the armed forces are picking that up. And you can very easily imagine that it doesn't have to be based on just who's funding the research. It can also be based on where the research is being carried out, so you can get a sense of the U.S. research versus China or other countries. So just to reiterate really quickly, using our tools and services, we're able to do topic modeling. So when you start with a large topical area like additive manufacturing, you can break it down into these subtopics and see how much research is being done within those subtopics, as well as other kinds of analysis. Once you've gotten those higher level views of where the research is generally being done and maybe decided on a specific topic and even a subtopic, you're then able to better understand the full depth of the research landscape. So where is the research being done by geography, in terms of country, in terms of institution, and in terms of the specific researchers themselves. Right? And another important part that's illustrated here is the ability of the custom analytics team to create customized metrics that really solve your specific needs. So for example, here you can of course look at the number of publications, but maybe you want to also look at the number of highly cited publications, or the number of times that a given country is co-authoring in that topical area with the U.S. And even as a result of that, what are the citation metrics associated with that? You can then look at this by research institution, again looking at the number of highly cited papers, number of co-authorship with number of co-authored papers with the U.S. And then even more with respect to the customized metrics, when you look at an individual and you're trying to get a sense of their contributions, are they senior investigators, are they rising stars? We have methodologies to categorize those researchers. We have person disambiguation engines, our custom proprietary software to ensure the accuracy of the data that we're presenting. And then we have network metrics that we can create. Again, this is just the tip of the iceberg with respect to what we can do for a customized report. And I won't, again, in the interest of time, I won't go into detail here, but the idea here is generally that we can look at the network of an author. We can look at other ways in which they're contributing, and we can get a sense of their research history as well, distinguish between senior versus younger researchers. The last two slides I want to talk about quickly are looking at disruptive research. So one of the studies that we've recently completed with the National Institutes of Health is trying to quickly identify specific research publications upon publication when they show the promise, right? So to expand on the basic idea of citations and just looking at the citation trends fairly soon after publication, we looked at the inherent characteristics of the publication itself. So we can look at the authors of the publication, get their H indices, other centrality metrics in their publication history, the content and the context of the publication itself, the funding surrounding that publication, the research environment. What are the organizations? Are they international? Are they collaborative? How many authors are involved? And the which is citation-based metrics, even for the researcher. So all of these different characteristics we've considered and come up with an approach to weight these differently and identify individual publications that show promise. Some of the examples of the variables that we looked at were the citation velocity within the first 6 months, the impact factors, the number of highly cited publications beforehand, the number of authors, some centrality metrics, and the average H index for different groups of authors. This is actually going to be published soon, but we have presented it at conferences. And as a result of this, we're actually currently giving alerts to program staff to give them a sense of what the articles look like that are coming out as soon as they're published. That is at an individual publication level. If you take a step back, you'd also like to know what are the emerging areas of research. So what are the topics that are generally emerging? And this is just one quick example of that, where we use co-citation analysis to identify clusters of publications that are related on a similar topic and are showing good citation velocity very early on after publication. So this is what we have in our product called Research Fronts. We then expand on the research fronts. So in this diagram on the left, the area in red represents the proper research fronts. But we can then expand on that to see if your research, the research that you're supporting, is whether it's directly within the research front or if it's near, tangentially related. And it's important to understand that, because if your portfolio is comprises primarily research that's far away on these satellites, then it may be useful to get a better understanding of what are the emerging areas and how you can direct more of your portfolio towards that direction. In the table here, it just shows a little bit more about how we can expand on that. This is by topical area, and it shows the degree to which these different topical, or the way that these topical areas are trending and the contributions by different institutions. So some of the, one way that one can interpret the results from this is to say that although the School of Medicine or a particular school is contributing the highest number of papers to a given area, it's then important to understand how closely related that their contribution is, and whether, so in this case, the contribution from engineering faculty may be more closely related to the specific topic. So one area of your research portfolio is contributing a lot of publications in this area, but another area of your research portfolio is contributing a little, but it's directly on the center of the research front. So it has to do with how closely related your whole portfolio is to these emerging areas of research, in addition to other ways to understand those emerging areas and to look at who you may partner with, who is doing good work, who are the best authors who are doing good work within those areas. So I went through this a little bit quickly, but I'd be happy at the end to take questions or by email or to follow up by phone.